to since 2018. I learnt lots of lessons during the weekend, including starting off on the journey down there, and I want to share some of the lessons that I've learnt from the Jeep experience and my Jeep experience, and how those can be reflected in not just how we deal with things in life, but also how we deal with things in business. See you in a moment. Now you can see there an image. So that's my Jeep Wrangler, and for those of you who don't know me that well and perhaps haven't heard me talk about it, I've had a lot of significant problems with this Jeep. It's 5 years old nearly, but it spent over 16 months actually in having warranty repairs done on it. And I love the Jeep Wrangler. It's a 75th anniversary edition petrol in the Sarge green, so it's pretty special to me, and it's a pretty special vehicle in itself. And on the Jeep camps, we go to lots of Jeep events, and each time we go, we have always had to stay in bed and breakfast, or we drive down there. So you can see there in the image that we're towing a caravan. That's the first time we have ever been away, one with a caravan and two to the Jeep summer camp, and that was taken just as I pulled over just to check lights, etc., just down from our house. And the reason I'm sharing this experience was that it was a big goal of mine to get to the Jeep summer camp. It was an even bigger goal of ours with the two dogs and my wife Angela to actually go to the summer camp and stay in the caravan. This was our first ever outing in the caravan together, and it didn't work out very well. We queued up in traffic for about an hour. We got just by our local town, Newark, and just the other side of the town, the engine warning light that has come on before came on again, and the vehicle went into limp home mode. We tried to restart the engine. We were so desperate to get to the Jeep summer camp, so we restarted the engine and tried again, but worried about the damage that it might incur by keeping going with the journey, because we've got potentially 4 hours of doing this stop start, and then we got to take it off-roading. But we decided we'd got to turn around, and this Jeep camp was so important for another reason, in that I wanted to take the Jeep to the summer camp so that I could take it off-roading and test and get other people to drive the vehicle, because I think there's still things wrong with it, but I wanted an outside perspective of driving the vehicle so that other people could say, yeah, it's not just you, there is still something wrong with this car, because it hasn't been right since it came back. So for me, that was quite important to go to this Jeep summer camp. So what we decided to do is make a decision. We could either carry on and ruin the car, which we weren't going to do. We could come home and just forget the whole weekend and not go on the trip. But in an instant, I decided that my goal of going to the summer camp and the goal of actually taking the caravan and having the outing was more important. So I looked for alternative ways to achieve the goal. And very quickly, sometimes we have to think on our feet, don't we? I had to look at the resources. Now, thankfully, just 3 days before, I'd had a tow bar fitted to a Mitsubishi pickup that I've got. So I knew I'd got the resources at home to hitch the caravan back up and get us to where we wanted to go. So I knew I'd got the resources. I then knew that when I got to the Jeep camp, I was hoping that some people might actually help us out and take us around the off-road circuit in their cars. What I didn't bank on is the fact that obviously with the COVID restrictions, nobody wanted us sat in their car next to them with all the pandemic that's going off at the moment. So I realised that I needed help. I needed help with sorting my car out, so I reached out to Jeep, and Steve at Slough is hopefully going to deal with that for me. And I also went round asking for help. I went to every single Jeep member. Over 50 people were there over the weekend that I spoke with, who I asked for help of how I can get my vehicle doing what I want it to do. We also got help with the caravan, helping set the caravan up. But most importantly, as well as having the resources, as well as having the help, what we needed to do was shift our mindset. Okay, I had to get my mindset that I was going and I was going to have a good weekend. We were going to have, this as our first outing of the caravan. We were going to see how the dogs behaved, and we were going to have a good time. And we did. Yeah, we went along. You'll see the Jeeps there in the image. We went along to Slindon with the Mitsubishi. Unfortunately, because we're not a Jeep, we weren't allowed to go around in our own car, neither. But what we did do is I got to have lots of time and lots of enjoyment in the Jeep. And we got to lots of conversations, we got to camp, and I had to shift the mindset round. What was it I wanted to do? Okay, what were the outcomes that I want to take away from it? So I want you to learn from my Jeep experience that when you have an experience that challenges you, think about three things. In business or in life, think about the resources that you have, the resources you have at your fingertips, and how you can best use those resources to achieve the aims and objectives and the goals that you've set. Think about the help that people will give you, who can give you advice, who can give you guidance, who can give you physical help to help you achieve those goals. Might not be exactly as you want to achieve them, as it wasn't with me, but people can now, I've got lots and lots of people giving me advice on how to get my car sorted with Jeep and get it back to where it wants to be working, use it for general day-to-day use and for going off-roading as well. And also think about what you have to shift in your mind. What needs to flick in your head, in your mindset of having a can-do attitude. It would have been very easy to give up when we were broken down at the side of the road, but I didn't. So you need to shift your mindset. And then what I've got to do today is think, what next? Yeah, I've got my Jeep Wrangler set on the drive. We've come back with the caravan. What next with the Jeep? How am I going to solve this problem? And look forward to a solution and a resolution rather than just anxiety, stress and pain. So 3 things to think about when disaster and catastrophe hit your life, your business. Resources, the help that you can get, and reach out for that help, ask for that help, and shift the mindset. If you've got a similar story of how you've overcome something in your life or in your business, I'd love to have you as a guest on my podcast. Just drop me a message below whatever platform you're watching this video on, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, in a Facebook group, Facebook page, whatever it is, or on Instagram. Just drop me a message if you would love to be a guest on my podcast and share a similar story and put not only yourself into the spotlight as a guest, but put yourself in front of listeners and help them benefit, like you are listening to this, from the experiences that can make a difference in their life and in their business. I'd love to have you as a guest on that podcast. I hope today's Monday's Moment video, which is on a Tuesday, has given you a little bit of a different aspect of how to look at catastrophe. And trust me, if I can go from being a broken down Jeep with a caravan on something which is so important for me, something we've been talking about and we've booked and so passionate about for so long, if I can go from that to still having a weekend away and enjoying it, okay, it wasn't what we wanted, it wasn't what we expected, but we got something that we took away from it because we just looked at it with a different mindset, a different set of eyes, and we still got some of the goals achieved of going away with a caravan, testing it out, and we learned so many lessons about caravanning along the way as well. I hope that's being of some use to you and helps you see things with a different set of lenses and a different perspective. And I look forward to seeing you on next week's Monday's Moment, and who knows, I might have some good news from Slough and Jeep of what they're going to do to get my Jeep sorted for me. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on next week's Monday's Moment. Bye for now.